Alright, today we're going to begin adding color to our Cata-lisas. So the first thing to do is just to make sure that you've traced over everything with your black oil pastel, that you've included a few little lines in the background, and again, feel free to add some extra little details too. I've included a little ball of yarn in this one's hand. But once you're happy with all of your little details, then you'll need to grab a thing of chalk pastels for your table. Remember, these can be quite dusty, so we want to be careful with kind of how we're applying them. We want to be cautious of people next to us. It'll be important not to blow any dust off of your paper because we don't want it to go onto someone else's. I have a little scratch piece of paper here because sometimes, since they're using a shared container, sometimes the chalk pastels will get a little messy, and it might not be a bad idea to just kind of quickly do a little line on a piece of paper just to kind of see its true color. Just to kind of give you a heads up, eventually we will be adding some value to this, and to do that we'll be working with some darker and lighter versions of our original color. So I kind of was planning ahead. I decided I'm going to do more oranges with this cat. You are the artist, you can pick any color you want, but you may want to try to look ahead of time to find, what would be your darker version or your lighter version. So like for instance, if I was to maybe do this orange here, I could maybe plan on using this one above it for my shadow areas, and then when I come to some highlights, I could maybe use either yellow or a lighter orange. Okay, so maybe test a few colors to see which ones you want to work with. So I did say I discovered I wanted to begin with this orange here. So what I'm going to do is just very carefully start applying this to my face, my ears, and my hands. Now the thing to remember with chalk pastels is I often like to hold them flat, kind of pinch them, and kind of put it on in little circle motions like this. I'm going to go kind of slower when I get by those black lines. I do want you to know that we will be retracing those black lines, so it is perfectly fine if you go over it. A lot of times you'll notice the chalk pastels might not go on top of that oil pastel because of the difference in texture. And that would be good. So then we'll be able to see those lines again later a little more easily. But I want to remind you, you do not need to cover up all of these black spots. Once I get some of this pastel onto the paper, I'm going to use my finger to kind of blend it in and push it into all those little areas. I am not pushing down very hard because if I do, this will just turn into dust very quickly. So I'm just very kind of lightly pushing down as I'm going around in either these circle motions or just side to side. I want to be careful by the eyes. You can see I'm almost done with my face here. Take your time. Chalk pastels can be kind of messy if you're in a hurry. And you want to just be mindful of your fingers because they will get all that dust on them too. So sometimes it might even be nice to just keep a paper towel by you, and you can clean your fingers in between colors. Alright, almost got enough on now to blend it all together. There, so now I can set my pastel down, and I'm just going to use my fingers, like I was saying, to gently rub that color in. Now, as you do this, you may discover some areas that need a little more color. And here it's not very dark yet, or vibrant, so I can just go and put a little bit more color there. But it's better to maybe try it first and go back and put a second coat on than to put too much in the first place. So you can see I'm just very carefully going around, pushing that color into my paper. You are the artist, like I was saying earlier. You can choose to make your cat very realistic looking with some more natural colors, or you could make it like a rainbow kitty. It's really up to you. You could also add stripes when you're done with your main color. Lots of possibilities. But you can see this does take some time, so just kind of be patient and try your best to get all that color on there. I think it would be wise to start with the face, the ears, and the hands, and then you can maybe go to the hair and then start heading towards that background after. You want to kind of start in the front and work our way back in this with this project. Okay. So have fun. Let's see how far we can get today, and if you do get your cat all filled in with color on the face, hands, ears, and background, just please come show me. We're going to try to stop with just our main colors today, and then we'll talk more about value and tints and shades next week. So there you go. Have fun.